There's a myth in the no-code world. Adalo is for MVPs. Once you hit scale, you need to migrate to code. I don't think that's true. Adalo's infrastructure can handle millions of users, real scale, and there are founders scaling Adalo to exactly that. But they're not doing it by accident. They're doing it by making the right architectural decisions from day one. Here's how. The myth exists because most founders build Adalo for an MVP, not for a company. They build fast. They don't think about scale. They don't think about permissions, access control, or data structure. Then when they hit scale, they think Adalo failed them. But Adalo didn't fail. Their architecture did. Here's what's actually happening. Adalo can scale. The infrastructure is there, but you have to build for scale, not hope for it. Most founders don't do this. They're in MVP mode. They're shipping fast. Then they hit a wall and they think it's Adalo. It's not. It's them. So what does Adalo actually scale to? What's the real infrastructure? Adalo's infrastructure handles over 1 million monthly active users. That's not a theoretical number. That's what the platform is built for. Adalo processes 20 million requests per day with 99% uptime. That's real infrastructure. That's real scale. Can you scale a SaaS product to hundreds of thousands of users on Adalo? Yes. Can you scale a marketplace to real transaction volume on Adalo? Yes. Can you scale a subscription app to millions of users on Adalo? The infrastructure says yes. The question isn't whether Adalo can handle it. The question is, did you architect it to handle it? Most founders don't. They build for today, not for next year. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Shmoody, they're an Adalo product. They scaled to 2 million in annual revenue. They have over 1 million users. They didn't migrate from Adalo. They didn't rewrite. They just kept building in Adalo because the architecture held. How did they do it? They designed for scale from day one. I've seen other founders do this too. They think about permissions before shipping. They think about data relationships before building screens. They think about 100x growth before day one. And when they hit scale, the architecture holds. The founders who struggle, they didn't do this. They built for today. Now they're either rebuilding in Adalo or rebuilding on a different platform. The difference is one decision. Are you building for an MVP or are you building for a company? Here's how founders who scale in Adalo actually build. First, they design the data structure before they design the UI. Most founders do the opposite. They design screens first. Then they try to fit a data structure underneath. Wrong order. Think about your data first. What are the entities? User, organization, project, permission. What's real data? What's a relationship? Design that first, then design the screens around it. Second, they think about permissions and access control from day one. Not later, not when they need it. Day one. Who can see what, who can do what, what's private, what's shared. This is architecture, not a feature to add later. Third, they use Adalo's native features, not building workarounds, not fighting the platform. They use webhooks, they use workflows, they use conditional logic, they use what Adalo gives them. Fourth, they monitor performance, not after they hit scale, before. Database performance, API response times, user load. When you understand these metrics from day one, you can scale without panic. Founders who fail at scaling in Adalo usually make the same mistakes. Mistake one, they overcomplicate the data structure. They try to optimize for every scenario. They end up with 30 collections. Nobody knows what's real data. The answer? Keep it simple. Collections for entities, relationships for connections. That's it. Mistake two, they don't use Adalo's native features. They build their own permission system instead of using Adalo's. They build their own notifications instead of webhooks. They fight Adalo instead of using it. Mistake three, they don't think about permissions until they need them. By then, they're retrofitting, filters everywhere, performance drops. Mistake four, they build for today, not for tomorrow. They launch, they get users, they succeed. Then they realize the architecture doesn't support what comes next. By then, it's expensive to fix. All of these are preventable. They're decisions, not Adalo limits. Here's the reality. Adalo isn't limiting these founders. Their architecture is enabling them. They made better decisions earlier. They thought about scale before they shipped. They designed for growth. The infrastructure is there. 20 million requests per day, 1 million plus users, 99% uptime. That's not a limitation. That's a foundation. The founders who think Adalo is limited, they built it like an MVP project. Then they're surprised when it doesn't scale like a company. If you're building in Adalo right now and you want to know if your architecture is built for scale, that's what the free assessment is for. You tell me about your product, what you're building, where you want to scale. I read it personally, and I respond with an honest evaluation of whether your Adalo architecture is built to scale or built to break. Link is in the description.